it's on, you know, because people are like, well, how do I get started? I read the book. How do I get started? I read Diet. How do I get started? I got the reps. How do I get started?
Yes.
I'm working with somebody. How do I get started? So that's what it's coming down to and stuff. So that's what it's about and everything. And so, I'm trying to tell people the first thing is you gotta let go of whatever you know. You have to get a clear mind to accept, some of these things and everything. That's the first thing. And then even like I was talking about the book earlier, and stuff, and how it starts off, read it, and then come back to it in a sense and say, okay, levers. Levers is not invented. It is what it is. Pitch on roll wasn't invented. It is what it is. And so then you go into the thing of, once you accept that, then the other stuff really doesn't make sense. Like, once again, I want to do this hip thrust exercise because somebody said it works my glutes. Okay, cool. Let's set it up in a lever situation. So you go, okay, let's set this up. And so I only have to do the hip thrust to set this up. I'm gonna hold my arms here. I'm gonna put my legs out here. And once again, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna work my torso. So the forem's up here. This is the left arm. There's nothing. And even if I got down all the way to this position here, same thing. If I drop my hips, it's the torso that's the left arm because the forem's up here.
Right.
So it's a fast way to say, hey, let me get out of this. So it's a quick way to assess, like, I want to work my glutes, but that's not how glutes work.
No.
And then at the same time, you go, are you going to run that way? No.
People sure try, though.
People sure try. So that's what it's about, just to give people some basic information. Hey, even when the book starts off with pressure, start with pressure for a reason. Because that's how the body reads things. Force, we don't know. Pressure, we know. The only reason I know where I am on my foot is because the pressure tells me. I don't care how much force it is. I really don't. But I do care how much pressure is there. I do care how much pressure. I do care about that. But force, nobody doesn't care. So once again, you go, oh, so it's just. But once you have to, if you stop thinking force, then you have to stop thinking the force application equation. Strong part. So you have to give up some things.
Yeah.
But then leverage replaces that. Oh, because this is what's going to happen. Instead of me trying to push the ground, I need to anchor to the ground so the femur can rotate and push me forward. So that's the biggest thing, even with dyad, pairs, hey, find the pair. Up and down, left, right, vertical, horizontal, find a pair, and it can be something as simple as this here, like we talked about, where people tend to want to rotate their hips. Where's the pair? Where's the pair? But you go, oh, okay, let me take a left leg and right leg. Let me push the right leg through the thigh, the left leg through the hamstring. Oh, look at that. If I want to go the other way, oh, look at that.
Yeah. Oh.
So that's all this is about. Just trying to get people to say, hey, where do I start? Really, just forget everything and start from let stuff flow through your mind. Like, oh, everything's rotational, so you don't have to train rotation. Let's just start there.
Yeah.
So yeah, even with wraps and things like that, because you had yours, yeah. Even with wraps, and he's like, what rotation am I dealing with? Just what am I dealing with? What do I need more of? So even in something like this here, where you go, And you have to know, and that's part of the assessment. You have to know, like, okay, what am I really trying to get at?
Right.
For instance, I'll put this on down here. And so it could be something as simple as I'm having a squatting problem. And so usually with a squatting problem is because the knees, the tibia and the femur are moving at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
And so, and then the tibia stops and the femur can't go any place, which is why we tend to do this here,
Yeah.
So okay. So that's, so like I said, I got this rotational thing. It's not a bad thing, but when I'm trying to squat with this weight, I don't want that simultaneous pitch and pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So then you said, okay, cool. Then you put this on here, like that there, and now all of a sudden, guess what? Oh, the tibia holds, so now I can drop.
Done. Yeah.
So it's just stuff like that. Just ankle mobility wasn't your problem. It was just the rotation. It was rotation, incompatible rotational issue.
Yeah.
So now let's make those rotations congruent and compatible. Pair them up again. How we pair these up to work versus they're working against each other. So that's the hard part. It's like, huh. So now think about your sprint start. Think about your sprint start if the first action was the hips dropping. And what I mean by that is this here. I'm in this start, right?
Yeah.
What's the problem? They both want to drop. So once they both want, and that's when you get stuck in the hip and try to,
And then, yeah.
Right. So then you go, oh, let me just drop. Bow. Now I'm gone. So now it becomes the same. So now this motion and this motion become the same.
Yes.
So, but like I said, once again, what am I looking at? I'm looking at the rotations. I'm assessing the rotation. I'm looking at the levers. I'm assessing the levers. Okay, what do I really want? I want this one here. Okay, now how do I get there?
And then try and do something about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and sometimes that's the hard part.
That's it. That's most people just want like, hey. There you go again. I mean, like I said, if I can't, like you tell people, like like when I go to clinics, it don't take me long to go, okay, but I'm going home.
Yeah.
So now what are you gonna, now what are you gonna do? You're like, oh, he went home. Oh, I got it.
Now what? Yeah. Now what do I do? Yeah.
So yeah, it's just so that's why I just came on real quick after sitting here, maybe people to drop in and say, hey, I got a question about how to get started.
Yeah. Yeah, I always have questions all the time. So that's like I said though, like that book, every time like I revisit a section on it, I'm like, oh my God, it was already here. Like, oh, it's like I thought I had it, and I did. It just took me 2 years to realize it was already written on paper, and I read it. So
where'd he go? DJ was here. He just cut out. Oh, there we go.
You too.
What's going on? Yeah, I mean, even me. Even I gotta go back and read it. Even I gotta go back and read the book. Like, oh, hey, what's up, man?
Hey.
Just woke up from my nap. I had to set an alarm.
So yeah, but that's what it comes down to. Yeah, like I said, I go. It's like somebody asks a question, I had to go find the pages for them. And I'm like, it's on page 25 to 26 of the book, where it talks about just setting up imagined collisions. So, but once again, if you go to setting up imagined collisions, force goes away again. So you got to forget about the force thing. And it's just as simple. I mean, think about it. And so, if we said this a long time ago, I want to fall from a greater height. So I got to set up a collision. So for instance, if I fall, this is just a 1-inch fall, right? So, but now this is a 1 foot fall. Then the fall sets up the whole process. So it becomes, once again, how do I set up and manage the collision? Not how do I produce a great amount of force in a short amount of time, which the fall does. You know, because the fall, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So, but you have to understand, get away from the force application of it and think like, I got to set this impact up, creating a greater input. The greater the input, the greater the output. So once again, if I want more, I got to fall from a greater height to get more out of this impact. Set this up, handle it, boom, and go. So, and I mean, look at Usain Bolt. Why did he win? He fell from a greater height. If you can start off by winning a race because you have that impact from the fall, but then at top end you don't have it anymore. Somebody catches you. It's so simple. Like I said, and yeah, you got it. And like, damn, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So DJ, I was saying every time I read the book, I go and revisit it every once in a while. It's like I'm reading it all over again. It's like brand new. It's like, or what I know now, it just added on more, or I thought I figured something out, and it just is like, oh, it was always there. And so,
yeah. So yeah, I mean, because we put all this stuff out, you know, like I said, that's what we put out: the femur rotation, you know, tibia rotation, chin angle change. It's funny how people try to talk chin angle change now.
Yeah.
But they still won't commit to like, no, it's going to change. It's going to, and it's not the direction. It's just, it needs to get out of the way so your hips can ride through smooth. You know, I've been reading about boats and stuff like that. That's the next thing, because do you want to ride over or do you want to ride through? And that's all the femur's trying to do. Your tibia is either going to make you ride over or make you ride through the wave. That's all that's still happening. You know, and so it's once again, it's super simple to assess. Like, just like I just told somebody this morning. Yeah, I just told somebody this morning. High point to low point, I mean, they have a cool high point to low point. So, I mean, they have the high point, but when you get to low point, you put almost on the ground. It's not far enough. And then you watch somebody like Shelly and Frazier run, you know. When she gets to her low point, the foot's way out there. So that's the fall. So I told this person, hey, man, your high point to low point is on. You good with that now. So now we got to figure out how to get you at a higher point to fall from at the low point. That's all we got to do. But that's an easy assessment. Instead of telling you need to get strong, no. By the time you get from high point to low point, or you have some people go high point to midpoint, and then they pull back to them. Once again, the fall is not great enough. And that's why people don't cast. No, put that foot out there in front of you. Go fall on it. Don't pull it back towards you because it's reducing the height of the fall. And then you're gonna tell them get stronger, get stiffer. No. So once again, it's easy to assess the problem from high into low. It's easy to assess this is the problem. This is how we can correct this problem. You don't need more force. Well, you do, but it's gonna come because you're gonna fall from a greater height. But you can't manufacture by saying I'm gonna try harder. It doesn't work that way.
Never.
You know, so yeah. I mean, that's like I said, watching the enhanced games is super fun, super fun. You know, and so you know, as I'm watching it, because I said, you know, when we was talking a long time ago, we was talking about how this is a health issue. You know, they're gonna market it this way. They're gonna market it this way. Sure enough, it's a health thing. They're trying to market. Look at the body transformations.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I'm as healthy as I've ever been. Forget this stuff. I'm as healthy as I've ever been. You know, and so you go, yeah. And another thing too is, once again, we don't know what they did because it's from a company standpoint about performance enhancement, and the performance wasn't there, but the enhancement was. If that was your stick, it failed.
Yeah.
You know, because then they start talking about PBs. They got a PB. It flipped. So halfway through, it's not about the records now, it's about the PB. You know, this person, you know, has not been running for 4 years and they got a PB. They're running faster now than they ran when they was in their prime. They ain't put no dollars in nobody's pocket, but the company. So they switched up halfway through. So you know, and now you have people read the stories online. Man, it's crazy what's going on. See, no, drugs don't work. Yes, they do work. They do work. You know, but once again, if you get the wrong cocktail, no, it doesn't work. You got to find the right cocktail. You know, so yeah, crazy stuff. But that's the biggest thing. When, like I said, I'm just saying, hey, people know, where do I start? Start right there, just to get everything you know. Let this float in, but then you understand, like, it's the impact, not force application. That's the input you're looking for.
Yeah.
You know, and then I got these lever things to help me out with this great impact, which is why I got this collision that's a certain way. You know, versus a distance runner, their collision is different than a sprinter. You know. And so, but once again, if you look at fast distance runner versus slow distance runner, it's going to be the height of the fall. The height of the fall will dictate who's going to win that race. Super simple, you know. But then you got to give up the elastic thing. You got to give up this, you know. What are you willing to give up? Like I said, you got to give up something to get something, you know.
So with the height of the fall, your stride length can still be shorter. It doesn't like to be extra long, right?
Yeah, you can have a short stride length or a long stride length, but it's really coming down to the height of the fall. You know, so and like I said, we've seen the video, we've seen the data. You know, we've seen the data from the treadmills and all that kind of stuff, and they're like, they produced that. When did they do that? Because they were in the air falling. When they collided, the thing spiked. And then as they settle down, it comes back down, and they leave the ground. Like, wait a minute, as they leave the ground, is at the lowest point? Should they be pushing right now? Shouldn't that thing spike up again? But it didn't spike up again. You know, but even think about this here, where they talk about, you know, the fastest person, you know, had the greatest amount of force. When? They were losing at 50 meters. They didn't win till the last 10 meters. So when did they do this?
Yeah.
You know, but you know, that becomes part of it is and even out of the blocks. So this is the thing about it. If you want to hammer down, it's out of the blocks. Because what's going to happen is you're not high enough. There's not enough height to this whole thing. If this was this high off the ground, you know, by the time you hit the ground, there's nothing to it. So I need this femur. So now I need, I go this femur here. I need this femur to drop that one. And that's what I need now. So come out of the blocks, yes. I want this side to hammer that side into the ground. But as I get going, this becomes too small. So now I need gravity, really, because gravity can't help me at the beginning. But once I get going, let gravity take over.
Yeah.
So, but that once again, that's just levers. I'm going to use this lever to hammer this one down to create this thing. And once I get going, I'm going to let gravity help me, and then I'm going to create this collision. Well, so I'm going to create collisions. It's just a matter. I need help to create this. I need lever to help me create this first collision. Maybe the first 3 or 4 collisions, I need help. Once I get out of that, now I can fall and let that. So, and that goes levers too. When you're going slow, you get a lot from a lever. As you go faster, no.
Yeah.
It's not. It's less. But gravity makes up for that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's. But like I said, that's the easiest thing to get started. Just really understand. You know, I think that's chapter 2 of the book, levers, where everybody gets into levers. You know, but really understand levers, really understand collisions, the rotations, and how that works. This just at a base level, and that's how you really get started. You know, but you gotta. I'm gonna wipe all this other stuff out of my head. explosive. No, I mean we see the slowest guy out the blocks is dusting dudes. Jordan Anthony looked like he woke up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got a race to go to. Yeah, I mean it looks so
sluggish. Yeah.
Right. You know, and we've seen that many times. You know, until Usain Bolt came along, but we also seen people get ahead of Usain Bolt and he catches them.
Yeah.
You know, and so, but we've seen that in many races. I'll put a race up where Shelly Ann is getting smoked for the first 50 meters. And then all of a sudden, what happened? Her fall kicked in. And the other person, wherever they had, they lost. And it's so easy to see, but that's simple stuff. The people, they want to do this complex stuff, and, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. But every Monday I'll be doing this for a couple of hours. I'll just get on, you know, where do I start? This is how you start, you know, and then take questions and stuff, you know. So that's why, like I said, you don't want to, you know, even when we talk about, you know, the other reason why I don't want to push out of blocks, you know, because I'm going to pair the upper torso, I mean, the upper traps, or even the upper body with the lower body. Because what do most people say? Arms have no part in this. Arms play no, upper body plays no role in this, just all legs. You know, but no, let's pair them together now. That's the diet thing. Let's rethink this. Let's pair these things together. You know, because like I said, so if we get up out of this chair, it don't take much. You really don't. You know, it really don't take much. So it doesn't take much to come out of the sprint start, you know. So you know, that becomes a lot of it. So it's like, this doesn't take much.
Hey, getting out of bed.
Got faster. I got faster. You know, I'm getting faster. You know, so yeah. And so, but now even watch this. I can use my legs only, or I can let. So, and then they'll just land for me again, you know. So that becomes a lot of it. And people don't, you know, they're like, oh, they have to, yeah. If we're talking about this impact thing, yeah, they play a role, because they're gonna get me up high enough and get me up high enough so I can get this fall off, you know, and let the legs do what they gotta do at that point in time. So, and that's why, like I said, they've been talking about it, but they can't explain it. No matter how much they talk about force application, how do I do it? Just like the guy left the comment when I asked the one guy, he's talking about vertical push. And how do you do that? More vertical push.
Yeah.
How do you do that? You know,
It's automatic.
It's the hardest part. No, it's not. So, and that's why I did the video showing, hey, watch, I'm using my collision. I'm gonna use the collision between the upper body and lower body to create vertical. You know, because once again, it needs help. It needs help. You can't. There's no mechanism. There's no mechanism. That's what, you know, like I said. If I'm in the air, that's what's the problem with most of these drills. And that's what you got. That's what keep telling you. You got to rethink this stuff. If most time when I do these drills, I'm not gonna do these drills. I'll make it to the ground. So it's easy to stop as long as I'm anchored, because what this one is this one here is what's doing it. So this one is I gotta pair them up somehow. That's the part people are missing. This ain't a hamstring, this ain't a glute issue. It's the fact this one here is about to drive it down. So when I'm in the air, you can't do that. But guess what I can do? Upper body can just take over it. Upper body can just take over what this leg can't do anymore. But I'm gonna, once again, how am I gonna set up, create, and manage a collision? How you do it on the ground? Like I said, see what I'm saying? Coming out of the blocks, bam! It works. Because what? You're still on the ground. Once you're running, it doesn't work because you're in the air now. So they tell people do it. Go upright. No. Go here, pair them together. Let this one help you create and manage collisions. So that's the biggest thing is when they do these drills, they do them while they are on the ground. If you understand the book, you anchor to the ground. So this one, yes, you can do that because you anchor to the ground. Easy. But when you don't anchor to the ground, how's it work then? That's what they can't explain. Hamstring, nope, ain't gonna work because the hamstring's doing what? Hamstring's trying to hold the tibia here. Glute, nope, glute ain't gonna work because it's out of range. It's stretched out of range. Nope, that ain't gonna be it either. But that's just understanding the basics of the collision and impact. The higher the impact, the faster you can go. And we can show you how to create a greater impact. Can't show you how to produce more force in a short amount of time. They've been trying. But they can't measure it. They can't tell us what it is.
Yeah. They've been trying for a minute.
A minute.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the hard part, like I said. So how you get started, man, you gotta let some stuff go.
That's the hardest part for people. Like you have to let things. You have to.
Yeah. Even sometimes for me, I go, why am I still holding on to this?
Oh, I
sometimes I'm like, oh man, no, let that go. Yeah. Let it go.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's the biggest thing. And so, but people ain't brain. Your arms don't help. Your arms will help. Everybody doesn't help. Doesn't help. You just got to stomp the ground harder. Why you stomp the ground while you're in the air? How you do that? And if you try to stomp it in the leg, now you're on a straight leg. Well, a straight leg's no good to you.
Nope.
So, and that's what we keep talking about. So same thing. Even some of us parallel and perpendicular. If this leg is straight, that's the perpendicular. The only parallel I can get is by trying to squeeze the parallel through the glutes.
Right.
That's all I can get. That's why people say, yeah, use your glutes. Because the perpendicular is there, the parallel is you trying to really. So then they get back to hip thrust. That's why you get back to hip thrust because they want what? The last 10%, the last 5% of the movement. That's it doesn't take hard, it doesn't take one fair what they're doing. But only one problem. When you spring, how do you land?
Squat.
So now this perpendicular gets me this parallel. That's a different ball game. See? This is the perpendicular. I want to be sitting on this thing running here. That's the perpendicular gets me that parallel. So once again, you use these things to assess what's the problem. How can I make the correction? Oh, I need to put a perpendicular on that. Okay, well, how do I do that? Okay, this is how you do it. This is when you need to do it. So now the technique's there. This is how you do it. This is what you do, and this is when you need to do it. That's the technique there. So, but that's too simple. And now they want to be stiff and pogos. And like, no, but you don't run like that. So that's like the video I put on the website. The guy's talking about the wickets. So it's a video on the website where the guy's talking about wickets. And he wants to get the guy tall. And it's funny is this here. This is funny because he's talking about he's only concentrating on the shin. He said when the guy is running, his shin is slightly forward. And he wants a vertical shin. So when he shows the vertical shin, he shows no allows. But no allows shin is vertical, no doubt. His shin is vertical. But his femur isn't. This is the position no allows in. He's pointing at the vertical, but he didn't point at it's pitched backwards. Now you got this guy like this here running with a vertical shin and a vertical.
Yeah.
And that's why I call it the pink elephant in the room. Hey, wait a minute. You missed the other half of this that's going on.
Crazy.
Crazy, right? But something as simple as that. Understanding where's the perpendicular so I get my parallel. That's easy. But you got to take time to watch video. and look. And guess what? The greater, if you can get that thigh pitch back, you know, that perpendicular, now you can really sit on it. And now I get more. It's like a wrench, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's no different.
Mm-hmm.
A vertical wrench, what do you got to do? You got to change the direction of the perpendicular. So you get your parallel. Change the direction of the perpendicular, you get your parallel. That's all we're doing. You know? So that becomes the fun part. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
And so that's how you get started, by trying to think, once again, simple. Really think simple. Like, oh, it's just a lever. Oh, okay. Well, once again, if I start someplace, you know, how much does the wrench move when it's under load and heavy? Once it loosens up, but we the opposite. That's think about that. We're the opposite when we sprint. It's easy at the beginning because then what happens as you get going? The range gets shorter and shorter. We're the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's easy if you got a lot of range, and it's easy to get started.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get going and really running, it tightens up on you, which it should.
Yeah.
You know, but there's two different cases, because why? Once again, I need to really take this other side and hammer down the opposite side. So I got this contralateral thing, but once again, I'm going to pair up. Contralateral, ipsilateral, I'm going to pair them up. So this side here is going to hammer this side down when I get started. That's why I need that. That's why I need this range on this thing now. But once I get going, I don't need that range anymore. Now I just got to understand how to fall. So, and some people give you zero, because the leg is straight, it's zero. There is no, that's a zero. You ain't got it. So yeah. But once again, you know, people think that, you know, I made up levers. Nope, didn't make it up. Pitch up, nope, didn't make it up. Nope, didn't make it in itself. It already existed.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah. You guys got any questions?
When's your running book coming out?
You know, look at this is what's happening. The running book's almost the running book is ready. It's ready. So the running book's going through a whole lot of revisions, because the whole thing about the running book is this here. I didn't want to put out anything close to what anybody else is saying. I didn't want to put out anything close to what anybody else is saying. I don't even want to catch up to what I'm saying. You know, even now, like I said, I've been talking about shin angles forever. People are starting to say shin angles now. They just don't say vertical shin, you know, positive. They don't say positive shin angle. They're trying to, you know. So I'm thinking, I'm getting as far away from these schools as I can get this time. So it's gone through some revisions to really, you know, like I said, whatever they say is the opposite of. We'll get them this time. It'll be the opposite of whatever they say.
Yeah.
You know, but man, it is really cool book. You know, and so how we gonna do it is we're actually gonna put out the manual and do a course at the same time. We're gonna do both of them. You know, put it out and do a course at the same time. So that's gonna be kind of cool. But I think right now, because it's only like, I think it's like 25 pages.
Oh wow,
It covers walking, race walking, jogging, and sprinting. It tells you the difference between those four things. It tells you how to, you know, you can go from this to this to this to this to this to this. You know, but it covers those things, and it says, hey, you know, it covers a lot. But think about it, it's covering walking, race walking. Who's ever covered race walking, walking, running, and sprinting all in the same?
Nobody.
You know. So it defines, like, this is what these folks do, this is what these people do, this is what these people do. You know, and different combinations and things like that, you know. But yeah, it's really cool. But like I said, it just had to be the opposite of what these other folks are saying. I'm like, again, I can't do it.
And then they'll come still from what you're saying again, and
so yeah. Well, you know, like I said, it's part of that. You know, you have to remember. You know, part of that is once again, how you influence the system to change. So I'm glad they started seeing a change because that means they got a change coming. I'm glad because they got a change coming. Now you got more people saying what? Don't do the A skips and B skips and all that kind of stuff. Well, we can say that forever. Now more people are saying it. So you see, like, okay, that's the biggest thing is this just how do you influence this change that's going on, you know? And people are like, you know, well, they'll hear me say that and they think like, you confused. No, I'm just telling you. This is what I was stuck on. Now you may not have heard me say it, but I bet you heard somebody who heard me say it. You know, so but as we talk about just you know, I've been talking about gravity forever. Gravity is following. Great, you know, because gravity is what? For me, it's squared. So 9, 18, 27, you know, the longer the fall. So that's the same thing, you know, with the Falcon. 200 miles an hour. It doesn't try and climb a foot to get 200 miles an hour. That thing climbs and pulls back. Here it comes. We have the same thing in us, but we have to get to a higher height. That's the whole part. How do I get to a higher height? You know, but nobody's, you know, like I said, when you know, just to hear, hey, you know, it ain't about force, it's about pressure. More people starting about pressure now. You know, so yeah. By the time it hits, yeah, it's gonna be. So Jen said she's doing something because I gave, you know, Jen has it right now, so she's doing her thing to it and stuff. So, but yeah. So, and I think it, you know, it's a good starting point again and everything. It ties it to what we did with the first book. You know, even like now, you know, just like I you know, when you see the videos now, when we talk about collisions, rotations, levers, I'm gonna pitch this way or pitch that way. You know, there's really, if it's not from the book and stuff like that, really the words don't come out of my mouth that way. You know, so yeah, but it's gonna be cool. So yeah, but yeah, we're working on it. So Jen's working on it now, he's putting the final touches on it. Hopefully, you know, we try to make sure everything's ready by the time I go out to NCA in July.
And then when are you back traveling in Canada?
I don't know if I can ever get back in Canada. We'll see. Canada got weird rules. You know, right now I don't think I can ever go to Canada again, and I don't think I'll get back into the UK. You know, but any other place, I'm probably getting into. You know, so yeah, because it's gonna take a minute to get all this worked out. You know, even after I'm over with it. But Canada, they run criminal checks. And so if this thing about it, if what I did here is not against the law in Canada, no big deal. No big deal. But if it is, how they relate it to it, like, oh yeah, nah, that's not, you know, we can't, you know. So, and that takes, you know, lawyers and money to work out that. They have the right paperwork, you gotta apply, and you can show up and they can let you in. Or you can show up and they not let you in. So yeah. So but I'll probably, you know, I'll come close to some places again, just like, you know, I'll go up to Washington or I'll go up to New York, you know, I'll come close to make these people drop down and stuff like that. But yeah, but the UK and Canada we do everywhere else, you know, Italy, Ireland, Belgium, no problem.
Was Ray there? I saw Ray out there.
When we went over to Ireland, no, we was in Brussels. Oh, no, Netherlands, Amsterdam.
Oh, that video you posted with Ray was from way back?
Oh no. The one we has the device.
Yeah.
No, he's in Ireland.
Oh, you sent the device to Ireland?
No, he made his own.
Oh
because we couldn't ship. Shipping was like $600 for one. Like, you want $600 to ship 5 pounds? Like, are you crazy?
Crazy.
I mean, where are you homing pigeon at? You know what I'm saying? You're doing some bird feed or something, you know? But yeah, so the shipping was too much. But in next, we have, so like the next set of things coming out, we have a standard A-bar coming out. and then we have A bar to be used with jammer handles,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have A bar come out single sided for Olympic plates, and then we got a double short Olympic bar type thing coming out for A bar. So, and then we're gonna have I think we're gonna do up the landmine, and then we got some things coming out. You know, so that should be ready by the time I go. Everything's set up. By the time I go out to NSCA, everything will be set up to be rock. So yeah, but once again, I mean, you think about that video raid that I put up a wreck. No comments, no nothing.
Mm.
But once again, if you want to see how to do a sprint start very easily, he just did it.
Mm-hmm.
He just did it. But like I said,
Hey, doesn't look professional.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Doesn't look right.
You know, so you know, it was low effort, you know, and you can see as he goes through the video, as he's adjusting, like, ooh, okay, ooh. By the time you get to the third one, he done dialed it in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and people don't understand that. Like, look, if you understand what's going on, you can dial yourself in. As a coach, I can watch you, and I can say, okay, you dialed in now, yeah, and you because you know what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you know what you did versus me telling you, I get it, you know. So yeah, so that was the other thing about that. But yeah, that was a good video.
Right
So,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, no, he made that himself.
Cool.
You know, so yeah, because he did one with a single sided, and I said, hey man, put another band, put another one on the other side. He was like, huh? And so he did it, and he was like, yeah, now you're cooking, man.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
You know, so yeah, but you know, like I said, it's just easy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
I think
yeah.
that trap tip you gave, that was. I hope people are crazy. You know, that's
Because you know, I mean, once again, I mean, it's just I mean, you got this. It's simple like this here. So let me keep telling people. This is stressing my elbow
mm-hmm.
because it wants to see it. It wants to the load wants to rotate the elbow, but I don't want it to rotate because I'm supposed to do what? I'm supposed to lift it up straight.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? That's how we get in trouble.
Mm.
Based on this load, it's trying to rotate, and I'm trying to resist the rotation. Now I'm straining my elbow.
Mm.
Or I can say, oh, or
Crazy.
Or you
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, one of the people joints are jacked up and stuff because they won't do the or.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they won't do the or, and so you know, it's like, oh, I can just like do this and watch what happens. No problems anymore. You know, but once again, people want to work hard. Like I said, this, you know, now then what's the next thing they're gonna do? Well, I got to increase the capacity of the tissue because I'm using it wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm using it wrong.
Yeah.
So, and I feel that strain and stress on it. So I'm gonna increase the capacity of the tissues so I can continue to use it wrong. Or yeah. So when people, once again, when people talk about that stuff like that, there, it's because you're using the system wrong. So yeah, like what do we do? Okay, if you're gonna take a bar, and try to use it for leverage, and know it's weak, you can get a bigger bar, or you can try and reinforce it where it bends at. And keep trying. You're gonna keep trying wherever it's bending at because it's not the right bar. You can keep trying reinforcing it where the weakness is. Instead of going and getting the right one. That's us. Like I said, this thing is trying to rotate.
Yeah.
And I try to raise it up, and where's that at? It's at the elbow. It's got my whole body locked up. As I, you know, and so then you go, like I said, or no more problem, no more problem, no more problem, no more problem, no more problem. Then they talk about these. No, you don't have to. The only reason you need to increase tissue capacity because you're doing it wrong in the first place.
And when you're pulling the traps, how high do you want to you want to exaggerate it?
There's never ever how high anything is what's needed.
How much is needed? Yeah, how much is needed? It's the right question.
What's needed?
Mm-hmm.
Do I need this or do I need this? You know, and so that's the tip of the iceberg of the traps. I mean, that's just traps. You guys, when you see traps, think octopus. And you can they do anything you want to do. You just have to see octopus back there. You know, so if I want to turn, I'm in this swivel chair, right? So once again, I can do it at the feet level, or I can take lower traps and spin it. Lower traps just spin it. See, my legs on lower traps spin it. You don't see my upper body doing anything, but you see the chair spinning now.
Yeah.
Or I can do the lower. You know, so. But once again, people have written off the upper body in movement. They've written off, you know, if I'm going to do iron cross, some biceps, you know. But if you go back and like those things, nothing like, no, that dude, they did it. I'm thinking like he was stuck in the traps, and he's hooked because the traps down, you know. Versus if you go through your shoulder, yeah, but and just now you can hold that thing because, you know, and everything else. Even like we do this here, so same thing. It's how, yeah. Okay, so say I want to do hips. Yeah. What's the problem is my grip and see my wrist. The wrist is the weak link. So see, that's the weak link in the lever system. Yeah. You know, I can splay my hands, which now see. And then if I go to the traps, you know, splay, traps, now it's like or I struggle and struggle and struggle. Yeah. And put you on a 12-week program. You know, put you on a 12-week program, get you to do 2 of those and go, look how much stronger you are.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So then if I do that, all of a sudden, if I do my traps, I'm doing that, should go to the track is easy. But yeah, but just understanding the upper traps, that's just the tip of the iceberg. You know, so but like I said, it's I don't know if that's in the book or not. It may be. Maybe. You know, like I said, that's the way you write a book. Information keeps moving. Information keeps moving and stuff. So
Ben Johnson, that's how people they thought that he's doing the hand or the elbow, but he's actually
Christian Coleman. You know, I mean, yeah, you could, you know. I sent Mike some starts I did the other day.
Yeah.
he hit me back like, okay, what you doing? I mean, it was like kill. I mean, it was like wow.
I always guess my 2 quote. What are you doing? Or how did you do that? And well, what? It's not how I think I should do it.
Crazy.
So yeah, but it was just that, you know, and so, you know, even like, you know, you have to think about this process of how strength training helps some athletes inadvertently. You know, so if I'm doing cleans and using traps, you know, when my sprint start, I'm gonna use traps. If I'm doing cleans and I'm using my shoulder when I go sprint and using my shoulder, they're gonna transfer. So they inadvertently help somebody, and they thought, man, your legs are stronger. No, your traps are stronger. They're more developed, you know, and got more range to them and things like that, you know. And that's something, you know, you want to, you know, once again, you know, It's just one of those things where there's a left and right side, so I'm gonna pair them together. Yeah, there's left and right side to it, you know, so I'm gonna pair them together and stuff like that. And then I'm gonna do some asymmetrical stuff, you know, if the I don't want them both to come back. So I may pop one up and pop one back. You know. So I'm gonna put that on, you know, and so once I do that, it's like, ooh, you know, and then, you know, even in a running situation, like I said, how am I gonna, this is a trap issue. So, you know, like I said, if I'm in this situation here, I want this right side, put down the right side, you know, if I do this, it doesn't work. It's not a torso move. You know, if you're in the air, the trap pop that thing, and that's the collision between it and it. It's not just here. So once again, dyad, who am I gonna pair it up with? I gotta get this leg to drop. I use this one here. And that's why you see those guys that you see just like movement. Those guys really get going, you'll see the movement, you know. And they say you gotta run this way. You know, because once again, if you brace here, guess what? These all bets are off. They don't work. But if these work, guess what? Braces. If these work, this because it has the rotate, it has the anchor for you. But before it,
yeah.
You know. So once again, who am I pairing up? What rotation do I need?
Yeah.
You know. So it's just part of that process of, like I said, you know, how do I get started? Just get rid of a lot of stuff in your head already. just you know, brain is plastic, so I can get rid of some stuff and get some new stuff in.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, but that's you know, even like so with the wraps and stuff, you know. Oh, y'all haven't seen? Oh, this is cool. So we have the thigh wraps and the upper thigh wraps. So most people are trying to wrap the hamstring and stuff like that. So now, oh, it's on my leg. Here we go. I'm gonna that one away. So watch this. This is super cool, super cool, super cool. Now, so you know how we talk about this is the cool part. Let me get this here. So look it. This is one of the coolest things ever. But most people sit down in this chair. I'm gonna sit down on one leg. Most people sit down in this chair. It's like this here. Right? But watch this. You want to sit down and then you want to get that cock into it. And then you want that little cock into it. It's another move there. One more move there. If you get that cock, that's when shit happens. If that little bit of cock makes things happen. If I go straight down, see, now it's
stuck.
Quad trying to extend, that's too hard. So now, I only got a little bit of it. Some people got a little bit of it. Some people got none of it. Some people got a lot of it. The more you get, the better it gets. So that's what we use these for. So and so that's the difference. Like I said, these go all the way up. And they sit around the hamstring. So we don't sit down here anymore. Like I said, we're not in the belly. It's not even close to the belly anymore.
Yeah.
You're sitting up. Right? Now watch this.
Boom.
What rotation do I need? Now, if you don't even know you need that rotation, you're in trouble. If you don't even know that rotation exists, you're in trouble. But we can give it to you. That's the beauty of it.
Nice.
So, yeah. But you have to understand rotation in the first place. That little bit of rotation right there. Makes a huge difference.
Hmm.
The jumping, running, you know, it's just like a little, like I said, that's like the final hammer. Click, click. Wow. Versus the quad trying to do, because once again, the quad's trying to do too much for the quad.
Uh-huh.
So all we do is take it, you put a little short lever on there, it goes, the quad goes, everybody goes.
Cool.
So yeah. So sometimes, like I said, you ever wonder, like, oh man. But like I said, this is the first. Nobody has these. Nobody's never thought about putting the wrap up this high. You know, and so same thing. Nobody's never thought about, hey, I'm put a wrap way up here.
Yeah.
They got them here. They got them here. And nobody say, I'm put one up here. And once you put it up here, same thing. You go, what? Okay.
It's just locks right out there. It's all ready to go. Yeah.
So crazy stuff. But yeah, but that's like I said, but that's how, you know, people how to get as simple as that. You get some stuff, airs, you know, rethink what's going on, the force application, let that one go, you know, and just go, oh, okay, there. Locations, levers, boom, input, output. You know, when we kind of opposite from the starter, so where we get range, you get going. And once we get going, we don't need range anymore. So, that's all I got. That's the first session of getting it started. Oh, this was recorded. You don't know it's been recorded. Yeah. It'll make it out there somewhere to the world. Oh, you can't see it from over there. Right over here. But yeah, so every Monday I'm trying to do this from 11 to 1.
Okay.
Like clockwork, you know, and that's all it's called. You know, how to get started, you know. And people have a place to come, ask about questions about the book, the raps, you know, Dyad, Rethinking, you know, and everything. So, yeah.
As always, it's been great.
As always, thanks for dropping in, you know. So, like,
Uh-huh.
I put it out there. People probably thinking this ain't real. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
thought
like,
I'd give it a shot. So.
and then, like, 3 hours from now, hey, man, I'm trying to use the link. Did you?
Of course.
Yeah. You put an open forum and then nobody and then they're gonna ask you questions after. Meanwhile, you're like, hey.
And 11 to 1 is a wide window, East Coast to West Coast.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
A wide window. You ain't got 5 minutes on your break. Hey, I'm taking 15 minutes to drop in on this dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm acting like I'm in the bathroom. Drop in real quick. Yeah.
Nice.
Take my smoke break or something.
Yeah. Basically.
All right.
All right, you guys.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right.